The sport is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. San Diego State gets a big win over Colorado State last night by 23 points, 73-50. San Diego State be back Saturday, early tip time at 10 a.m. in Utah, taking on Utah State. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. The Lakers get throttled by 30 last night to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 129-99. They'll be back tomorrow night in Washington, taking on the Wizards. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and King's Irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
Oh, yes. Let's get it going on a Thursday. What's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to be taking over. Then we got a fun one for you today. As we get going, the Aztecs had a dominant win last night, like Sammy just told you, 73-50, and it was exactly what we asked for. We asked for a stress-free win. That's what San Diego State was able to deliver a night ago. Plus, we got new news in the Bill Belichick situation. We got Lebron crying on the sideline last night. The Giannis trade talk is heating up. We got a full 2 hours coming at you here over the next 2 hours. But before we get to any of it, Sammy Long, I must ask you, you ready to have a great freaking show?
Yes, sir.
I said, are you ready to have a great show?
Someone had a little too much coffee this morning.
I did have a lot of coffee this morning, and I feel fantastic. Late night last night at the Aztecs game. And so as we move forward here, let's talk about it. San Diego State, really exactly what we were asking for yesterday on the show. You remember, Sammy, right as we were ending out, I was like, man, I know it's tough in the Mountain West Conference to ask for a game where you just sort of coast in the second half. But that's what San Diego State got last night, and they did it through great defense. I mean, holding an opponent to 50 points. It was Colorado State's worst shooting performance since back in 2020, I believe, a game also against San Diego State. You held one of the most efficient offenses in the country this season to like 36% shooting from the field. It was a really great defensive night for the Aztecs, who kind of cruised to a win. Pharaoh Compton had a big night. Miles Bird with 10 points, Reese Dixon Waters on fire from the field. We're seeing sort of the reemergence of Taj DeGorville, who's found his confidence all the way back. And San Diego State, on a night where they didn't have Magoon Guath or Elsie Harrington, two regular starters for this team, they cruised to one of their most dominant wins of the season. That was a fun little night.
Yeah, they played fantastic. And that game had a trap game written all over it. Like heading into it, you kind of were nervous about it because Colorado State was getting a lot of their guys back, hadn't been great at times this year, didn't have some great record, but sandwiched in between two big games last week in Grand Canyon and UNLV, and then the big matchup, obviously, against Utah State this weekend. This is kind of that game that it's like you want to just get out clean because the Aztecs should win. They're the better team. But as we all know, in Mountain West Conference play, just because you are, quote, better team on paper doesn't mean you always win. I thought it was a huge night from the bench. You talked about Pharaoh Compton, 15 points. I mean, Sean Newman had 6. Taj has been playing much better ball with 9 points. He had a nice night last week against UNLV. So, again, talked about this yesterday. The front court is playing very well. And I don't think a lot of people, if you said that a month ago, would have thought that after Magoon Guath went out, because in the Players Era tournament, that's really why the Aztecs did not have a lot of success. They were getting bullied down low. And Miles Heide, Pharaoh Compton, Tay Simmons, all these guys are really playing excellent basketball right now. And it's really exciting that obviously when you get Magoon Guath back, that's a big plus. He can score at a clip that is better than a lot of guys on the team. With them playing this well, now you kind of have a different front court from where you saw the first couple weeks of the season. I think that's why we've seen them so much more successful in Mountain West Conference play recently.
It was cool to see Lamont Butler in the house last night. He was on the sideline wearing a very cool Letterman jacket that had LB on the side. I don't know what it takes to be cool enough to be able to wear a Letterman jacket with your own name on it.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get there at some point. Is it hitting a buzzer beater in the final seconds of a game in the Final Four? Is that what you have to do to get a BF jacket?
Yeah.
So I need to work my way up a little bit still, Sammy?
The aura of the team is great. You got Lamont. I love Reese Dixon Waters with the ode to Iverson with not tucking in the jersey. Like, yeah,
There was some aura last night throughout the game. Before the game, Reese Dixon Waters was celebrated about a 3-minute standing ovation for him getting up over 1,000 points in that game against UNLV. Now, I will apologize here for today because there is going to be some distracted radio going on because the Farmers Insurance Open is going on like 20 minutes from where we are right now, Sammy. I don't really understand why we're not there and why we're here. But the Farmers Insurance Open is going on. Torrey Pines.
Yeah, we have like Kogo people that are getting press passes. I was like, I'm sorry.
Well, we could have gotten press passes. I never put in the email.
Oh, so you were just lazy.
So, this is on me, my fault. But you know what? It's okay because the Farmers Insurance Open is going on. We got a great look of it on TV. And how about San Diego delivering just a beautiful day out there? For years, it's always been the curse. It's like Farmers Insurance Open rolls around and you've had 25 days of beautiful weather leading up to it, and then it's cloudy and terrible for 4 days. But it looks like it's going to be awesome this weekend. Although the top of the leaderboard is a little fishy right now. You're seeing the true display between the North Course and the South Course. The South Course at Torrey, much more difficult than the North Course. And so everybody near the top is on the North Course today. And Max Greyersman is at the top of the leaderboard right now, 600 par through 11 holes, playing an excellent round. It's also showing if you don't keep the ball in the fairway at Torrey, you are going to shoot a high score. All right, we're going to hear from Farrell Compton as well as Brian Dutcher on last night's win. We are expected to be joined by Jonas Knox of Fox Sports Radio at some point in the show today. The Jonads is going to be coming through, but let's get to the big three here of hour number one. On the other side, we'll tell you about all the fun giveaways we have for you as well. Sammy, go ahead, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. Big three.
Text line's already popping off with some people talking about the bets that we made yesterday. We will get to those in a little bit, but 70470, start your message with the word team. We would love to hear from you on a day like today. YouTube is rolling already as well at San Diego Sports 760. On X, you can find us at Fletch and Sammy. Give us a follow. We will return the favor immediately. And of course, the talkback mic is always open, Sammy.
Love the talkback
We
mic.
love the talkback mic. Open up the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. In the top right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a little red microphone icon. Tap that. You can leave us a 30-second voicemail. Go straight to Sammy's computer. We can play that on the air here for you today. Sammy, where would you like to start with today's big three?
My Lakers got dismantled in Cleveland last night by 30. A two-point game at half. End up losing by 30. LeBron had 11 points, but the question is this. LeBron, emotional pregame. They did a whole tribute to him in Cleveland, obviously being from Akron. Is this the last time we see LeBron ever play in Cleveland?
Kind of felt like it, didn't it? It felt like LeBron was essentially saying goodbye to the fans in Cleveland. It felt like the fans in Cleveland were saying goodbye to LeBron. I don't know about the whole retirement conversation, but it definitely did not feel like a hey, see you again soon type of night. Now, we did get a new LeBron meme out of last night, him tucking his head under the Lakers warm-up jersey as he was crying during the pregame celebration. And I get all that. I really do. Here's what I'll say about both the NBA and Major League Baseball. Last night, the Lakers got their asses kicked by 30 points. And today, anything anyone seems to care about is the fact that Bronny Jr. Had a cool dunk in the waning moments of this game when you were already getting your ass kicked, and LeBron James crying on the sideline, and how cool it is that we have an emotional superstar as the lead of the NBA over the last few years. How about you worry about the fact that you got your ass kicked by 30 points? That's what I'd be a little more concerned about, Lakers.
Well, Laker fans aren't worried about that. Maybe the national media. Laker fans are pissed off. That was a terrible performance last night.
Terrible performance.
They played no defense second half. The three-point shooting woes came to fruition. The Cavs come out of half, hit 4 straight threes. It was a bad night all around. Luka twisted his ankle, came back in it, but not a good look for the Lakers. In terms of LeBron, I think we will see LeBron again because although he was emotional, like, let's be real, LeBron is going, and to his credit, he deserves this, so I'm not taking a shot at LeBron. He's going to get a farewell tour. Like, he's not just announcing he's retiring. We all remember Kobe's farewell tour, Michael's, like a lot of these guys, these legends, and LeBron certainly is a legend, a top 2 player in the game of all time. But I think he's coming back. I think the question is this, though. I don't think it'll be with the Lakers because I don't know if he's going to take a pay cut. The Lakers are not going to pay him a max level salary slot. The Lakers are trying to move on, build around Luka and Reeves, and build a team that can succeed around Luka Doncic. We know news with the Mavs. He needs a lot of bigs, a lot of wing defenders. I think LeBron actually might go to Cleveland next year. Cleveland makes a lot of sense. The Eastern Conference is pretty wide open. Looks like Giannis might be on his way out of the Eastern Conference. Adding him with Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Darius Garland and Max Strus, that's an NBA Finals team, and it would be definitely poetic, and I'm sure the NBA would love it if he goes back there. All right, head of the Padres, Zach Gallen. The Padres have checked in on former Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Zach Gallen. Seems like you would need the Yu Darvish money of the voided contract to get this deal done because he is going to command a lot. But first impressions, if the Padres were able to land Zach Gallen in free agency.
I'll tell you what I love and what I don't love about Zach Gallen. There's a couple things here. So Zach Gallen, for years now, has been the NL West killer. Like, he pitches his best when it's against teams in the division. He's been with Arizona. He's pitched really well against the Padres, Giants, and Dodgers. Here's what I don't love about Zach Gallen. Every other game he pitches in. Last year, he finished with a 13-15 record, 4.83 ERA, 175 strikeouts, 1.26 WHIP. Zach Gallen can come in and give you innings, which is another thing I would love about bringing him over to the Padres. Now, here's where I pump the brakes a little bit and offer caution to Padre fans who might get excited about the fact that Zach Gallen, who is a big name coming into the organization, the Padres are connected to everyone on every given trade every single time. Anytime anyone is available, AJ Preller gets his name in the mix somehow. I would wait until we get a little more concrete news about this before we all jump on the go push for Zach Gallen trade. But I do think he would be hugely beneficial to this team next year.
Well, the Padres certainly need another starting pitcher. And Zach Gallen, I know he didn't have some great year last year. I believe he went 13-15. Now, I think pitching records
with a 4.83 ERA.
Right. I mean, pitching records don't mean like what it used to because guys aren't going 7 full innings like they used to 20, 30 years ago. But Zach Gallen would fit the bill. Now, I like it because it's kind of a buy low candidate. This guy, 2-3 years ago, him and Merrill Kelly were the reason the Diamondbacks went to the World Series. I know they got crushed by the Texas Rangers, but they had no business being in that World Series. I mean, the Dodgers were way more talented than them. They swept the Dodgers. They took it to the Phillies. That kind of felt like the Phillies' year. They beat them. This would allow, and it certainly is becoming more of a discussion with Yu Darvish potentially voiding his money. Because if you have 4 pitchers, like Pivetta, you're hoping that he has the same exact year as he did last year. That's the best case scenario. He was fantastic. Michael King, hopefully, is healthier this year. We expect a big performance from him. Musgrove, you would like to be the number 4, maybe even the 5 for a lot of the season, not 4 or 5 in terms of talent, but in terms of not throwing him so many innings where he's fresh for the postseason. But the problem is the pitching staff currently constructed, he's going to have to throw a lot of innings because if the Padres want to be in the postseason picture, he's going to have to be playing a lot. If you go get a guy like Zach Gallen, you're able to bring him along very slowly, and that could be something that the Padres could hang their hat on, is a pretty nice starting rotation if you add Gallen back, Musgrove back for the postseason when they roll around.
There's still 2 big name free agent pitchers out there. Zach Gallen, one of them, and then Framber Valdez, the other one.
Big one.
Look, if the Padres are able to get one of them, great. I don't think it's going to be Framber Valdez. It sounds like the Orioles have been the most frequently connected to Valdez, but teams interested in Gallen are the Cubs, Orioles, and D-backs bringing him back on a deal. Angels, Padres have checked in on the situation, so we'll see if it comes to fruition, but it would be huge for the Padres, who, you're right, and I like Randy Vasquez. That's just me. But Randy Vasquez
is great for July. And that, like, he's not, you can't send Randy Vasquez out there in the postseason and expect to be advanced.
Right, but to get you to the postseason?
Yes. And he deserves a lot of credit for last year because he ate up a lot of starts when King was hurt at times, Darvish was hurt. I mean, guys were in and out of the lineup dropping like flies last year. And then you have, your Nick Martinez and Justin Verlander who are like a step down. Verlander doesn't make a lot of sense to me because he's old. Like,
I wouldn't hate Verlander coming over here because he would also bring his wife. The luxurious...
Make that
the
pitch.
Wonderful Kate Upton. San Diego would look good on her.
Let's go to I'm going to save the NFL story because we're going to get to that a little bit later.
Okie dokie.
Let's actually head to the Australian Open. So Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. Djokovic is playing Jannik Sinner tonight, and Carlos Alcaraz is playing Zverev in the Final Four at the Australian Open. What is a better story? Carlos Alcaraz completing the Grand Slam at the age of, I believe he's 23, or Novak Djokovic winning his 25th major of all time and likely retiring?
Djokovic is the better story. Carlos Alcaraz is more fun, although he's been blacklisted from long shots from henceforth forever. Always will never be a part of any bet that Sammy ever makes ever again because Carlos Alcaraz screws us over every single time. But Djokovic is the better story. I think as sports fans, we like the history of things. And when you talk about tennis, how many recognizable names have there been over the last 10 years? You think about the Williams sisters, you think about Djokovic, you think about Federer. Djokovic is on that list. So for him getting there, and Alcaraz might be on that list soon. I don't think he's on everybody's list as of right now. But Djokovic is there. He is a worldwide tennis superstar in an individual sport. Djokovic is the better story here.
I'm gonna roll with Djokovic too because it is like Alcaraz is gonna get this. I mean, yes, the accomplishment at being this young and considering he might play for another 15 years and the amount of majors he may stack up is kind of through the roof. But we're gonna see a lot of Sinner and Alcaraz showdowns over the years. Djokovic just really feels like his last shot. So against Musetti in his last match, Musetti actually beat him in the first 2 sets, but Musetti got hurt in the third. So Djokovic advanced, and we know that Djokovic has all the talent in the world. He's got one of the best backhands tennis has ever seen. The problem for Djokovic at his age is the long matches, the tournaments, getting to the end, and you're playing Alcaraz and Sinner who are in their early 20s. It's tough for him to get over the hump. The fact that Musetti got hurt early in the third set, Djokovic actually the last 2 matches, the opponent has retired early. So Djokovic is pretty fresh. So if you're ever going to beat Sinner in Alcaraz, it's going to be when you're coming off pretty fresh. It feels like his last shot. It would be cool to see Djokovic win his 25th and kind of sail off into the sunset.
Yeah, maybe this is the first ballot for Alcaraz, but he's going to be eligible for many years into the future, right, Sammy? So it doesn't matter if he gets in right now. He's going to be eligible for years and years and years to come.
Sounds like a certain Hall of Fame.
Right. He'll definitely
I guess not Hall of Fame yet. Should be Hall of Fame head coach in the NFL.
He doesn't need to get in right now. He has plenty of years to get in. We will tell you what one person has come out and said about Bill Belichick and why they didn't vote for him. That's coming up next. We're also going to read all these YouTube chats we got coming in, these excellent texts we have coming in. We're also going to set the table for some giveaways. And Jonas Knox, yes, the Joe in 2 pros and a cup of Joe, will be joining the show coming up at 12:30. Don't go anywhere. It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760, 10 minutes from right now. Jonas Knox of Two Pros and a Cup of Joe is going to be jumping on from Fox Sports Radio. The most Superman-looking radio host in the country will be joining us right here on San Diego Sports 760. A couple of comments on YouTube. Our buddy Paris is in the chat early saying WWE for Fletch. What up, Paris? Rich saying the Aztecs raised to 20th in defensive efficiency in KenPom. Dutcher always has the defense humming by March. Rich, I love that you said this and pointed this out. And here's the thing. I remember 2 months ago talking with John Schaefer pregame during a game, and we said the same thing. We said, if defense is the problem, it's not going to be a problem for long. And defense was a problem early in the season. You remember the Troy game? Both teams were up in the hundreds. That's just not stuff you see from the San Diego State Aztecs.
Right. You rather have them. I mean, early they were averaging 86 points per game early on the season. So
they're still averaging 82, but the defense is starting to hum. Last night, holding Colorado State to 50 points. That's huge.
Totally. And some of those defensive stats early were probably skewed because of the teams they played.
Absolutely.
And again, it's hard when Mugungua's coming back from injury. I'm not just making excuses for him. They didn't play good basketball early, but when you're playing Michigan and Baylor and you're trying to learn on the fly because there's so many new guys coming into the program and figuring out rotations, those aren't really teams that you want to be figuring out rotations against.
Jay Silves on YouTube saying, how about them Aztecs Friday Eve, my guys?
Yes,
let's get after it. No backwards catapulting. Yeah, last night was a big opportunity for a backwards catapult, but San Diego State jumped up in both metrics, KenPom and net. They're up in the high 40s in KenPom now, mid 40s in net. So they're moving in the right direction. I'm telling you, a 20-point win on Saturday might be asking a lot. You're in Logan. You're playing against Utah State, one of the better teams in the Mountain West. But a big win on Saturday would be huge for San Diego State in terms of the metrics. All right, text line, roasting Sammy a little bit here. 619 says Lakers plus 30 was a push last night. How about it? Sam, did you get the Lakers plus 30?
I didn't. I hit the Spurs plus money. I told you they were going to pull the upset. Bulls were up early. I was feeling really good about -2.5. That did not come through. And the Cavs did their part. Unfortunately, the Lakers benched everyone with 5 minutes to go. So the over did not hit in the game.
858 says, I love this show, but Jonas Knox might have the greatest segment in all of radio where he reads tweets off of his page.
Yeah.
Dude, Jonas has had a couple of segments over the years. You remember when he was doing Live Bet Jesus? I don't know if you ever woke up that early in the morning, but Jonas would play a new character. He wasn't himself anymore, but he would get handed down from the gods a piece of paper that would have a live bet going on. And it started during COVID. So it was like Korean baseball stuff. And it was the funniest stuff ever. I don't think he ever won a single one of those bets. 760, this weekend's UFC is way better than the one that just passed. Yeah, Volk is fighting this weekend against Diego Lopez.
Lopez, yeah.
Lopez. It's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah, the last weekend, this weekend's more for the diehard UFC fans, a little lesser known. Not that Volk's a very famous guy, but
you know the newest UFC fan in the building?
Who?
Brent Sperry. I told him to watch Patty the Batty. He said that was an entertaining fight.
By the way, to get Brent to like something,
it's a big deal.
That's a very big deal.
Brent likes what he likes. He's liked what he's liked for the last 35 years. And to get him off of that hill, and he's constantly never watched the UFC, but I was like, dude, it's on Paramount Plus. You have it.
I'm excited. Like, Volk is obviously one of the fan favorite guys, an older fighter. Lopez is supposed to be the kind of next guy, but 760 texting back in. Hooker, excuse me, and
Hooker.
BSD. Loki, a banger.
Hooker.
Volk and Lopez. I think Volk just outclasses Lopez again. Yeah, Volk is like, everyone kind of is waiting on his retirement, waiting on someone to take him out. And he's so tough. And you look at his measurables, you're like, he shouldn't be this good because he's a smaller fighter. But the fact that he's a smaller fighter for the division, he's able to punch up at guys. And it's kind of like, he's not Mike Tyson, but what Mike Tyson used to do to guys in boxing, the fact that he was so low to the ground and smaller than all of his opposition, it was like his punch angles really helped him out. So yeah, UFC this weekend is going to be very entertaining.
Can't wait for it. On Paramount Plus now, it's free. And by the way, if you're an Aztecs fan, you get to watch the Aztecs in the morning, 10 a.m. game against Utah State. UFC Saturday night. That's a hell of a weekend to me. All right, Sammy, is this your favorite person in the world? This guy at the Kansas City Star, what's his name? Gregoria, something like that.
No idea who that is.
You don't read every single article he puts out?
I read the Chief stuff.
He's the Kansas City Star guy. He covers the Chiefs.
He doesn't cover the Chiefs.
He works for the Kansas City Star. He's a sports writer. I would assume he's covering the Chiefs. There's
other sports teams in Kansas City besides the Chiefs.
Well, this guy has a Hall of Fame vote in the NFL, and he came out with an article today where he's talking about the fact that he did not vote for Bill Belichick, and this is going to tie in nicely to what we talked to Jonas Knox about, but he voted for 3 senior candidates, Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, and L.C. Greenwood. Now, I don't know much about LC Greenwood. I know a little about Ken Anderson, who played quarterback for the Bengals. I know a lot about Roger Craig, who was an excellent running back for the 49ers. I would say probably all three of them deserve to be Hall of Famers. But putting any one of them up against the greatest head coach in NFL history seems pretty obvious to me, Sammy Long. This is crazy.
These are writers who want attention. This is all this. Like, there is not, like, Eli Manning. I think he's a Hall of Famer. You can debate that.
Sure.
You can debate. He had I believe he was 117 as a starter.
But first ballot Hall of Famer needs to be obvious.
Right. Who is more obvious than Bill Belichick? Like, it feels like we're beating a dead horse. He has 6 championships as a head coach, 2 as a coordinator. He was the head coach of arguably the greatest dynasty in the NFL in sports. I mean, it's crazy that this is happening. This is clearly corruption. Clearly Robert Kraft made some calls.
Okay, I don't know about the Robert Kraft thing.
You don't think Robert Kraft has something to do? Excuse me. How does Robert Kraft get in?
We don't know if he's in yet.
Come on.
You know
damn well he's getting in. All the rumors that he's getting in.
We don't know.
And Robert Kraft, the reason that people say they, quote, didn't vote for Bill Belichick was Spygate and Deflategate. Well, guess who was there for both of those as well? Robert Kraft.
Vahe Gregorian says he didn't vote on Belichick because those guys deserved it more than Bill Belichick.
Right. That's PR. That's nonsense.
Just saying.
Because you don't like. I'm not even a Bill Belichick fan.
I know. I actually kind of hate him.
But to disrespect the Pro Football Hall of Fame and everyone going forward for it is crazy. Like, there's no way you could. So I guess no head coach in the future is getting in the Hall of Fame.
Not one, not ever. Never, ever, ever,
and
ever.
I expect that Tom Brady will be held to the same standard because he was there for Deflategate and Spygate as well.
Tom Brady, that dude, first ballot? Are you kidding me, Sammy? No chance. We got Jonas Knox coming on next. You hear Jonas Knox Monday through Saturday here on this station on San Diego Sports 760. Let's get into the Belichick conversation and, of course, the Super Bowl with Jonas Knox. That's coming up next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Covered California. For the love of Californians, Aztecs get a big win last night over Colorado State, 73-50. They'll be back Saturday morning, early tip time at 10 o'clock right here on San Diego Sports 760. They're going to be in Utah taking on Utah State. And per Shams Charania, the Heat, Wolves, Knicks, and Warriors are all linked to Giannis potentially before the trade deadline getting moved. Open enrollment is here. Covered California can help you make sense of benefits, deductibles, networks, and the general confusion of it all. Enroll by January 31st. Cover California. For the love of Californians, visit coveredca.com.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer's going to take over. Then Fridge Watcher on YouTube saying the Kansas City guy who voted not for Bill Belichick said it was a straight waste of a vote. John Silva saying Robert Kraft brings a whole new meaning to craft services. Hey-o. And Avon on YouTube saying, for those who were not around to see him, Roger Craig is completely underappreciated for his receiving and rushing skills. Dude would have been the first to be labeled as a hybrid back in the day. There's a 25-minute YouTube compilation of Roger Craig highlights from his day in the NFL, and this dude was amazing. He was Christian McCaffrey before Christian McCaffrey. He was catching wheel routes 25 yards down the field. He was running in between tackles like a madman. Roger Craig, absolutely. I was shocked he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, to be completely honest. But the fact that any of the three that this guy voted for over Bill Belichick is just absolutely asinine. With that, we bring on the Jonas Knox, 2 pros and a cup of Joe. He's the Joe. He also is on weekends here on San Diego Sports 760. You hear Jonas every single day, Monday through Saturday. Jonas, hello. How are you?
How you guys doing? Yes. Thank you Thank you for having me. I appreciate it as always. And good call on Roger Craig. For people that have not seen it or don't remember, I kind of remember a little Roger Craig, but if you go back and watch him, he was just smooth. Everything the guy did, whether he was running the ball, catching the ball, blocking, anything he did, he just made it look easy. He was smooth, man.
Well, it was still in the era of the NFL where the running backs would wear these big, wide shoulder pads. And so Roger Craig, you couldn't tackle him high. He was too big and strong. And then trying to tackle him low, he was too fast. He really was incredible. Jonas.
And look, and I would just say this, sorry to interrupt. I would just say this, another one. And I know Sammy and his pops are big Kansas City Chiefs fans. I've actually talked to his dad about it. Barry Word, Christian Okoye. You guys know Christian Okoye with those wide ass shoulder pads. Looked like they had, trucks on the top of their necks when they were running around. Also wide shoulder pad guys. Big fan of both.
Jonas, we've done such a good job over the last couple of weeks of not mentioning the Chiefs word because Sammy just starts going off on these tangents.
Thank you, Jonas. Thank you.
And you had to go and ruin it, Jonas. You ruined it. All right, let's talk about Bill Belichick. What have you and the boys with Brady and LeVar been talking about with Bill Belichick in the mornings?
Well, it's just the whole thing is a joke. I think everybody acknowledges it's a joke. And I think the part about it, because when you see the news come out, well, he's not a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer. When you see that stuff come out, you go, what? Wait, what? And what's the reasoning? Oh, it's because he cheated. Okay. Well, I could understand if you stood your ground and said, hey, listen, I'm not going to let anybody in that cheats. If you want to do the same thing with Major League Baseball in the Hall of Fame, I get it. I don't necessarily agree, but I get it. The part that bothers me is that it's almost universally recognized that, well, yeah, we say he's a Hall of Famer and he's going to get in, but you know what? We're going to make him wait a little bit. Cool punishment, geek. Way to lay the law down. Hey, we believe he's a Hall of Famer, but because we didn't like Spygate or Deflategate or whatever garbage excuse they're going to give you, they're going to come out and tell you, we're just going to make him wait a little bit. Ooh, you're going to slap him on the wrist? What is he, your toddler? Did he not put away his toys? So you got to make him wait an extra day to play with them? The whole thing's ridiculous. It's made a mockery of what should be a great thing, what should be an honor, to be able to have the opportunity to vote like that. And that's the part that bothers me the most. You're not even standing your ground on your principles. You're acknowledging, well, yeah, we too believe it's okay to cheat. You just got to wait a little bit longer. None of it makes any sense.
Jonas, where you at? So switching to the Super Bowl, if Sam Darnold wins this, like where do you put him in a hierarchy of quarterbacks heading into next season?
I would put him, Look, I think I saw the stat that only him and Tom Brady are the only quarterbacks to win 14 games in a season back-to-back years. And I know wins isn't necessarily a quarterback stat. You got to put him near the top of the list in the NFC specifically. Is he in the same class as a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes or some of these other guys or a Joe Burrow? No, and I don't think anybody would take him over those guys. But I think it also illustrates that you can win games, you can be successful with him as your quarterback, which is what makes this whole thing fascinating if you're a New York Jets fan. And I don't know about you, if you know anybody who's a New York Jets fan, they've probably gone into hiding at this point. But what makes it fascinating is that you've got the Patriots, who the Jets probably thought, oh, we finally got rid of them. You know, the dynasty's over. We don't need to worry about them anymore. We can just focus on us. 20 plus years of abuse. Let's move on with our lives. And with the snap of their fingers are right back in a Super Bowl, and they're playing the quarterback that you ditched, that you drafted high, but couldn't make it work because you couldn't do what Seattle did, which was build around him. So I think he's proven a lot of people wrong. I think he's proven the Jets organization wrong yet again. And I think he's got himself in the conversation for top quarterback in the NFC, because if you think about it, we assume Matthew Stafford's going to be back. There's a lot of questions about Jalen Hurts. Caleb Williams has moments, but there's still flaws that you've got to work through. Sam Darnold's in that discussion with being the top guy in the conference.
And the stuff that just makes me want to puke because it's with the Seattle Seahawks is they did the soft rebuild absolutely perfectly. And they got in a quarterback at cheaper than market value in Sam Darnold, who somehow the Vikings decided that JJ McCarthy was a better option then. So you bring in Sam Darnold on a team-friendly deal, and he's your quarterback here, and they're going to be contenders for the Super Bowl for the next few years because you have the guy in place who you know can go out and win you games, and he's cheap. So you can surround him with great talent. And in an NFC that just doesn't have that many great quarterbacks, you can kind of roll this field for the next 3 or 4 years, you feel like, don't you?
Yeah, and I think also, and you got to give a lot of credit to John Schneider, the GM of the Seahawks, because there was a lot of people who questioned, you know, what's the direction here? They decided to move on from Russell Wilson. They bring in Geno Smith. And look, full disclosure, when they moved on from Geno Smith and brought in Sam Darnold, I was like, what's the difference? Look, I didn't understand the move. I didn't get it. But I think they recognized that there was probably things that maybe Sam Darnold didn't do that Geno Smith was susceptible of. They probably looked at Sam Darnold as a guy that they felt like, you know, maybe he's a little bit younger. We could go in that direction, but he's just a better fit for what we like to do. Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, who might end up getting the Raiders job when it's all said and done. He's done a great job. But I just think the way that they've been built by John Schneider and by that entire organization and by that entire front office, to where they've basically taken the Legion of Boom and 10 years later or whatever it is, have figured out a way to somewhat replicate it. And Sam Darnold's playing at a high level because of it. And also, it doesn't hurt when you've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's been fantastic. Cooper Kupp, who I still contest is Amish. I know people are going to try and push back on that. Like, you mean to tell me that guy's never been outside some barn in Pennsylvania churning butter with a top hat on? I don't believe it, but if they want to continue to lie, they can do whatever they want.
He's like the guy in Kingpin. Remember?
Yeah. He's reading a paper, taking a dump in a urinal because he doesn't know which way it works. Yes, it's the same guy.
Jonas, what do you make of that head coaching cycle? So, what's been your favorite hire? Is it Harbaugh to the Giants, or is there another one that kind of stands out to you?
I guess probably if I had to say Harbaugh to the Giants, I guess I'm more puzzled by the Baltimore-Cleveland dynamic, just from the standpoint that if you were to look at the two top candidates and you were to say, all right, when it's all said and done, you look at the two top candidates and it's Cleveland and it's Baltimore, and they've got Kevin Stefanski and they've got John Harbaugh, and they decided to let them walk. The part that amazes me is that those two guys were gobbled up in a minute. And I'm looking around going, if you're Cleveland and Baltimore, isn't that a sign? Like, maybe we shouldn't have let them go. Like, if you're Cleveland, maybe you shouldn't have let them go. Like, maybe that was a big mistake. Ask the Tennessee Titans about moving on from Mike Vrabel. So I'm almost more fascinated by the decision to part ways with coaches than I have been with some of the hires. Like Joe Brady getting the job in Buffalo. look, I get it. There's a relationship there with Josh Allen, but why the moving on from Sean McDermott then? Like, why deciding to move on from Sean McDermott now and just retain the offensive coordinator? That felt like a move you probably could have done mid-season if you wanted to. It's just the hirings have been okay. Listen, John Harbaugh was going to get a deal done. Kevin Stefanski was going to get a deal done. Mike McCarthy, it was rumored, was waiting around a year to get his deal done, and now he's going back home to Pittsburgh. It's just, I think that there's some of these decisions that have been made that you're going to look back on and go, why? Maybe similar to a Mike Vrabel and what the Tennessee Titans did. And as it turns out, Tennessee got that one way wrong.
Jonas Knox, 2 pros and a cup of Joe. You hear him weekday mornings from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. here on this station. If you live in some other place, maybe it's a little later on in the day, like 6 to 9, like it's intended to be on the East Coast. And then the Jonas Knox show Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. right here on 760. Now, Jonas, we got a text a little bit earlier off our text line that said how much he loves this show with me and Sammy. But you might have the best segment in all of sports radio where you read tweets off of your page. So I'm going to challenge our listeners here to go follow Jonas Knox on Twitter at the Jonas Knox and load up that inbox with the most inappropriate stuff to ever hit the airwaves from Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah, listen, let it fly. I've been called everything. It is. I thought they were all. People have accused me of having burner accounts. I can't even get one to work, let alone 2. But yeah, and then I'll post them on the IG stories at Jonas Knox Show on IG, and every Saturday, without fail, somebody gets bothered by something I said, and they just let it rip on the air. It's kind of wild.
Jonas, if you did have a burner account, theoretically, what would the name of it be? Not to put you on the spot or anything, but
geez, that's a good one. Listen, if you guys know me, I can't say it on the air, but maybe I'll text you some of the stuff that I've received, and you can see for yourself. I mean, look, they're creative. Funny is funny. I don't take offense to any of this stuff. Nothing is personal. Funny is funny. Some of them are very funny. They're just very, very raunchy. And I'm always surprised how worked up people get when you pick against their team to win a game.
True professional.
It's crazy. Sammy just changed his X.com username. What is it now, Sammy?
It's the Sammy Long.
And he changed it, and it should just be Schlong. I don't know what he's thinking. It's right there for us, Jonas.
Well, I mean, look, Sammy, do not miss out on the opportunity to brand yourself. Okay, like please. Good. There's a chance there.
It's just so easy. It's right there in front of us.
Some other links might come up if I do that. Yeah, that's the only problem.
Yes,
the search would be crazy. Thanks for your time, Jonas. Appreciate you, man.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much for having me as always. I appreciate it.
Jonas Knox, 2 pros and a cup of Joe with LeVar Arrington and Brady Quinn. Hear it every morning here on San Diego Sports 760 on your way into work. And of course, on the weekends from Saturday, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., you could hear the Jonas Knox Show on Fox Sports Radio here on 760. Always appreciate Jonas's time. Cooper Kupp being Amish, that's a strong pull.
Jonas is the best, man.
I really like Jonas Knox. He's one of my favorites in modern sports radio. All right, let's take a quick break. On the other side, long shots. We changed it up. We thought we needed to switch things around. But we're going to stick with the change, but we need some better picks from Sammy Long. You ready for this?
I got us. By the way, we did get a text earlier, to be fair to myself. 858, never betting Bulls again, but I did hit Spurs money line and spread and made bank. Good call, Sammy. So it wasn't all bad last night.
So if you just picked one of Sammy's 3 picks, you did great.
Maybe you hit 3 solo bets. And by the way, the one that had the biggest odds, pay it off.
By the way, Sammy was also like giggling during long shots yesterday that he felt weird about putting the Aztecs into the long shots lineup. They would have smashed.
Well, listen,
they beat that spread by what, 13 points?
We're always going to ride with Aztec money line. Okay.
Always.
The problem is what I didn't want was certain people from San Diego State listening and then calling our program director going, why is one of your radio hosts putting our team in parlays? I was like, listen, because we want to watch
in trade combinations.
Exactly.
Sammy.
That's what I said.
Get that word out of there. We don't know what
I said that to our program director. I go, first off, everyone wins because San Diego State's going to win. We're all happy. Plus, you're making a little bank on the side.
And it's a trade combination. I don't know what other word it sounds French, whatever you're saying.
It's like, I don't know anything about the NASDAQ. I don't know anything about the stock. Like, I pretend like I know about the stock market.
Long shots is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Plus, we're going to tell you how you're going to win Chris Stapleton tickets on the other side. San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Big thanks to Jonas Knox. Always love getting to have him on the show. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2:00 today. John Schaefer is going to take over then. I was just having a little therapy session with Sammy during that commercial break because it does suck. Because I hate the Seahawks, man. Everything about them. The weather that they play in, the stupid rain that's always in Seattle.
I hate the weather. I had to live in that for 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
Seattle's a great city, but the weather, no.
I've been there once. And Sammy, it was like a gorgeous, beautiful day. And then
Did you go in July or August?
It was just pouring rain. It was a summer wedding. I don't remember what month it was exactly. It was up in Snohomish, but we spent a day.
Snohomish. I haven't heard that name forever.
We spent a day in Seattle proper, and it is cool. There's a ton of fun breweries. There's a bunch of things to do, but the weather just is awful. It was the middle of the summer, and it was sunny and nice, and then all of a sudden it was pouring rain out of nowhere. But this Seattle Seahawks team, like, find a guy on it that's not rootable. The entire team is likable.
Right. Well, Sam Darnold, he seems like a really good dude. I've always been a big fan of him because he's great at USC, but it's like his story is cool.
It's great. It's the underdog story. It's the American dream wrapped up into football. How about like Jackson Smith and Jigba sat behind DK Metcalf, and for years you're like, oh, he's a great number 2 receiver. No, he's a badass number 1 receiver.
Right. Even at Ohio State, he was like he was good at Ohio State, but he was logjam behind a bunch of receivers. Yeah. The Seahawks are a very likable team. The Patriots, not so much.
Well, Drake May's rootable. It's fun, but yeah, and we'll see. I can't stand the fact that the Seahawks are back, and I do think they're going to be great for the next 3 or 4 years, especially while Sam Darnold is as cheap as he is. But it's frustrating, but it is a very easy to root for team, which is gross to say out loud, especially because I'm probably going to have to be wearing a Seahawks jersey here pretty soon.
You already have to do that.
I have to do it twice.
Stan and Quacked On Padres made deals with you.
All right, coming up in hour number 2, we have a big announcement to make that involves this here show and something that's going on in the next couple of weeks.
Ooh.
So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Also in the next hour, we're going to have Chris Stapleton tickets to give away. So don't go anywhere. But right now it is the most important thing we do on a day in, day out basis. This is called the retirement plan. This is called Sammy Long's investment hour.
This is called the 401k.
This is the 401k. I don't know what those numbers all mean. And that letter, when you put them together, don't have one of those certainly, but I do have Sammy Long and something called long shots.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money and you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Say that to me and his man.
With long shots.
Investing my child's college fund in Sammy Long. What a great idea. Let's see what we got today, Sammy. Where are you going? We switched it up, by the way. So this is no longer players. This is just game spreads, money lines, point totals. So this is trading on games.
Trading on games.
Firing.
I have 2 NBA picks. I'm trying to get my tennis lines right now.
Dude, we could just do 2. We need a win. Sometimes you got to see the ball go in the hoop. Sometimes if you're putting, you need to see it go in the cup. Let's see it go in the cup tonight.
Thunder Timberwolves. Sammy. Are you going to bet against the Oklahoma City Thunder?
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Oklahoma City, 6.5-point favorites on the roads in Minnesota. Rematch of the Western Conference Finals last year. Let's take a little bit of a deeper look at the injury report tonight. Okay. Alex Caruso, one of the elite defenders on the team, out. AJ Mitchell, out. One of the fantastic young players that they've been. Jalen Williams, out. Kason Wallace is a game-time decision. All their elite defenders are out in this game. In Minnesota, I think Anthony Edwards got something. Minnesota has been linked to Giannis. They're fully healthy, and Minnesota plays a lot of defense. It really comes down to, can these guys around Anthony Edwards keep up? I think at home, getting 6.5 points, I'm on the side of Minnesota because, again, the secret sauce to Oklahoma City, everyone talks about Shea, who's unbelievable, and Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, is the defense. I mean, Kason Wallace and Alex Caruso and these guys allow Shea in them to simply focus on offense. Oklahoma City's been fantastic on the season, but they've struggled a little bit at times. They're not going to get the record that a lot of people thought they would do with Golden State. I think Minnesota tonight at home covers the spread plus 6.5. Also, Brooklyn in Denver in the altitude. Denver favored by 7.5 in this one. Little revenge game for Michael Porter Jr. They shipped him off to get Cam Johnson in the offseason. They wanted Cam Johnson. They wanted a guy who played 2 ways. Michael Porter Jr. did not play a lot of defense. So the closing lineups of Jokic and Murray and these guys, Michael Porter Jr. was the third option, and then he was a defensive liability on the floor. That's why they shipped him out of town, got Cam Johnson. Again, we're looking at the injury report. Christian Brown, out for Denver. Key contributor. Aaron Gordon, out. Jamal Murray and Jonas Valanciunas are game-time decisions, and Jokic is out. I think Michael Porter Jr. back in the altitude tonight has a great night. I also think that the Nets, like they're not as bad as people give them credit for. They don't have a great record, but there's some young talent on that team. I expect them to be a decent team in the Eastern Conference in a few years. And my last pick.
Wait, what was that pick?
Sorry, Nets plus 7.5.
Okay.
Taking the points. Nets plus 7.5. My last pick. ESPN has not shown me the line right now. Djokovic Sinner. I think Sinner wins the match. But if there's a bet that you can find, I believe Djokovic is going off at plus 1.5, so he can either win or lose by up to one set. I like that. If you can find it on Prize Picks right now or Kalshi, whatever app you're using, Djokovic, his last 2 matches, the opponent has retired early, which is good for Djokovic because Djokovic, the problem, he's got the same skill level as Sinner and Alcaraz and these guys, but he fades late in matches. Musetti won the first 2 matches in the last outing, actually retired though in the third. So Djokovic is really well rested. This is his last chance to get the 25th really major that would kind of complete his career. I think he pushes Sinner tonight. I think he loses, but if you can get Djokovic at plus 1.5 sets, I would take that. And put some dough on it. So to recap, Djokovic plus 1.5 sets. I like the Nets revenge game for Michael Porter Jr. in Denver tonight, plus 7.5, getting a touchdown in the NBA. And I also like Minnesota at home, plus 6.5 against Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City missing 3 of their top primary defenders.
Getting a touchdown in the NBA. I like that.
I'm confident in these picks tonight. I like them.
I just did the first 2, and I feel good about that. We're going to see the ball go in the basket. We're going to see the putt hit the bottom of the cup.
Sometimes you just got to see it.
Sometimes you got to see it go in.
You got to see a layup go through.
Just all in the hips. It's all in the hips. SD Tyler on YouTube saying, sorry for the 49er meme spamming on Instagram, Fletch. Thank you very much for that, Tyler. It doesn't make me cry at all when I'm lying at home awake at the end of the
Tyler,
night.
a nice little setup. He was watching us and he was watching the Farmers Insurance.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, we got a nice little setup here. Although, why isn't the Farmers Insurance open on the TV? I don't know.
It flips. The ESPN put it off.
Well, let's figure out how to get that back up on the TV. I was liking the distracted radio. I've been taking myself way too seriously here over the last couple of hours. All right, it is San Diego Sports 760, and my Instagram DMs are open anytime you want to get in touch. That's probably the best way to do it these days. At Fletch Sports on Instagram. Find me there. You can see all the crazy stuff we do in the mornings over on KGB. And anytime you want to talk sports, just slide in the DMs, baby. They open for you. It's San Diego Sports 760. Chris Stapleton tickets coming up in hour number 2, plus a lot of announcements to be made in hour number 2 as well. Don't go anywhere. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. San Diego State gets a big win over Colorado State last night, 73-50. They'll be back Saturday morning at 10 a.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760 with Schaefer on the call at 10. Fletch gets your pregame started at 9. They're taking on Utah in Utah State. And star boxer Gervonta Davis was arrested in Miami on potential charges of assault. He has been on the run for 2 weeks. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football and King's irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
Some may say, Sammy, this is the most important hour of radio we've ever done in our lives. I say to that.
This one specifically or 1 to 2 in general?
No, this hour that we are about to embark on, Sammy, this is a journey. This is an Odyssey comparable that of which Homer wrote in books, the Iliad and the Odyssey. That's what we are about to do over the next hour. And you are along for the ride with us, all right? Yeah, you in your car. Because here's the deal. We got a pair of tickets to go see Chris Stapleton on July 10th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Chris Stapleton, one of the best live performers of our generation. For tickets and info, you can visit Ticketmaster.com. But why do that when you can just wait? Because we're going to be giving those tickets away at some point here in the next 30 to 45 minutes. We haven't decided yet. Also, we got a big announcement to make.
Whoa, what's this?
This is the first time we've been able to do something like this. Like, it felt like back when Jim Russell was here, every other day there was some sort of big announcement on John and Jim's show. But now it's the John show and TBD, I guess. But right now, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, we get to make a big announcement.
We need I should have got some drum roll horns.
It's something. Or maybe you can just make the sound of a drum roll. Just give me a.
Let me get my drops going. Hold on.
Okay, yeah. Get some Ola Mommy or something. You got to, you want to do this right now?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let me know. Let's go.
Okay, hit a drop. Do something.
Hola, mommy.
Perfect. Here we go. Here's the big announcement. Next Friday, February 6th is the Friday before a big event. There's a big game going on Sunday, February 8th. So February 6th is a Friday, and this show is getting out of the confines of this little studio, and we are heading on the road. We will be at K&B Bistro in Del Sol. So in the morning, Johnny Drama, nice. In the morning, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, we're going to be doing our show from 6 to 10 a.m. over on 101.5 KGB. You could come party for that. That's a Bar Cart Friday that's going to be like 4 hours long. It's going to be insane. I don't know how I'm going to live through that and our show, but we're going to give it our best shot. And then from noon to 2, Sammy and I are just going to be sticking around, and we got the hangover food coming your way. So we got some pizzas on the way. We got some drinks that'll be available for purchase for you at K&B Bistro. We have some tickets to give away, as well as a signed Aztec football to give away. So get your butts down to K&B Bistro on February 6th, Friday, from noon to 2, and we want to enjoy this. Take a long lunch if you can. Get on out to K&B Bistro. Come eat with us. Come drink with us. Come have some fun with us as we get ready for the big game. A lot of drinking. Some drinking. We're going to be very sober the whole time, I'm sure.
See, the best part about everyone who can come, you guys don't have to be sober. You guys can do whatever you want. We have to be on air and make sure we don't say anything offensive that gets us canceled. But Fletch may have said off air that he might be buying rounds of shots for everyone.
I'll say this.
It may happen.
For the first 5 of our listeners who show up to K&B Bistro, I would be happy to foot the bill for a round of beers.
Yes, sir.
That? For the first 5 of our listeners who come up, and what's the secret code word, Sammy? What's the secret code word we can give out?
Josh Allen PR team.
First 5 people who come up to us on Friday, next Friday, February 6th, the K&B Bistro, and say Josh Allen PR team, you're getting a free beer from yours truly.
We know you're a loyal listener. If you say Josh Allen PR team, you're definitely getting a shot bought for you. A beer from Fletch and a shot from me.
Okay.
And if you come up and say that Josh Allen in his playoff career has been one of the most disappointing quarterbacks you've ever seen, I don't know what I'm going to buy you.
Probably a jersey, a Patrick Mahomes jersey, probably a handwritten envelope that says you are part of the Chiefs fan club or whatever you
No,
idiots
I'm
call
just
yourselves.
playing. Josh Allen's a great quarterback. We all
Josh
know
Allen's
this.
in a freaking walking boot right now, Sammy. My
I
boy's
saw
hurt.
that. It was very convenient of the Bills to make sure they got a shot at that as to why they had another short time in the postseason.
Our buddy Rich on YouTube asking if the camel is still going to be there for the Fletch Zone for our show. There's rumors. Allegedly, there might be a camel showing up to the big game tailgate.
I have to ask a question, though. I'm not trying to be a party pooper because I'm all for a camel being there. But 2 questions. Number 1, while you guys are on air, who is holding the camel?
There's no camel, Sammy. I don't know what you're talking about. This is allegedly. There might be. There definitely.
Let's just say if there was
is or isn't a camel going to be there.
If there was a camel that was appearing at K&B Bistro next Friday, number 1, someone has to hold the leash. So the camel's not just running around hitting people.
Sammy, the camel's not just going to show up without someone in charge of the camel.
Number 2,
it's going to be taken care of.
What is the Big Rich City and Fletch iHeart budget? What is that?
We are spending an outrageous amount of money on the big game tailgate. I will say that.
And number 3, what happens if the camel takes a crap on the floor and everying?
That's just kind of presumed that that's probably going to happen. It's happened in studio before, not with a camel, but
remember when they had the camel in here? Okay, a little off topic, but wasn't there a camel that was walking around the iHeart hallways?
No, those were reindeers. A camel couldn't fit in here, dude.
They had there was reindeer.
Camels have humps, Sammy. The humps would get caught on the door. Are you insensitive?
Listen, I don't even know who this was, but someone at the iHeart cluster thought it was a great idea to have reindeer come into the iHeart studio. This is not a joke.
Okay, Sammy, before you put your foot all the way into your mouth, those were our friends over at SeaWorld who brought the reindeer by, and it was excellent seeing those reindeer, and we loved having them.
No, it was great seeing them.
They did crap all over the place, and it was very fun.
We love SeaWorld. What I'm saying, though, is they could have been outside because them crapping outside, we still smell
how would
that.
The reindeer get on the radio if they were outside, Sammy? You're logically not working things out in your head.
You could have pre-taped something. You could have went outside with a microphone.
Allegedly, maybe, probably, definitely, maybe there's going to be a camel at the big game tailgate. So I suggest you get there early. I would also suggest you Uber. And if you're still hanging around by the time our show gets going, or if you're coming just for us,
we'll definitely be drinking with you guys
because you hate Big Rich and TD and Kat, and you just care about this member of that show and this show. Get there from noon to 2 next Friday. We want to party with you. We want to hang with you. We want to get you ready for the Super Bowl. And Sammy is going to have the greatest, most electric, phenomenal long shots picks of all time, and we're doing.
We're gonna have a special Gamblers Anonymous 12:45 special.
So we'll see you coming up next Friday. Can't wait for that. We'll tell you about it 20 more times, as well as announce all the prizes. There's a lot of good stuff that's going to be given away, including a pair of Chris Stapleton tickets at next Friday's show, including a signed football from the San Diego State Aztecs and free pizza from the place. I think it's Del Cerro Pizza and Beer. It's awesome pizza right next to the K&B Bistro. All right, we are going to get to long shots here of hour number 2. Chris Stapleton
the big
tickets.
3. We're going to the big 3. We're not doing long shots.
What did I
right
say?
Now. You said long shots.
That was a mistake, Sammy. I was already thinking about the camel and how excited I am to name him. But yes, let's get to the big 3 here of hour number 2. Go ahead. Smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
The more people talk about the allegedly, probably not, definitely going to be their camel, the more it's probably not going to happen. So, Rich, lock it in on YouTube over there. And Sammy, stop talking about the camel.
I'm just curious, a little off topic, but I kind of thought reindeer and camels were the same thing. I didn't think reindeer was 100% real until SeaWorld brought that. I thought it was.
There have been very few times in my life I've been completely speechless. I have zero response to what you just said.
No, but
you thought camels and reindeers were the same thing?
I didn't think reindeers were real. Well, for all the kids listening, obviously Santa Claus is real.
What
but
the hell is happening right now, Sammy?
Like,
I am legitimately
where do
speechless.
reindeers even live?
The North Pole, you idiot.
Well, yeah, those reindeer, but I'm talking about just
reindeer.
SeaWorld didn't go to the North Pole and bring them down in a plane.
I'm done. Fridge Watcher saying, will Jay be in a Speedo again? Yes, Jay will be there in his Speedo. He's a bartender at K&B Bistro. I'm sure he's going to pop the top and the bottoms at some point during the big game tailgate, as well as this show. Sammy, where are we going?
We're going to head to the NFL. Okay, we're gonna get
camels and reindeer.
We're gonna get control of the show right now.
Oh, yeah.
Who is next year's Broncos and Patriots?
That's a great question.
Four wins for the Patriots. Obviously, the Broncos were kind of in anonymity. All of a sudden, playing the AFC title game. What team will we be talking about next year that makes the jump from not being very good this year to elite?
You know how YouTube streamers, they'll have people in their chat who can clip stuff live during their show and then just turn around and reprocess it quickly? Like, I wish someone could clip Sammy saying he thought camels and reindeers were the same thing.
I didn't think reindeers were real.
Send that out to the entire world. Okay, next year's Broncos and Patriots. I'll tell you one for sure. I don't have a second team, but the Washington Commanders sure feel like they fit that bill. Now, it was injuries this year. I don't think you can count the Chiefs, the Bengals, who's the other team I'm missing that missed the
Ravens?
The Ravens. I don't think you can count those teams. I really don't think you can, because we expect them to be there next year. We expected them to be there this year, and they all just kind of sucked this year. But the Washington Commanders are a team who I believe a lot in Jaden Daniels and what he can do as a quarterback in this league. That roster is set. They should be back in a position where they can vie for an NFC championship once again. It's just going to take some luck on the health side. So that's my one. But in terms of teams coming out of nowhere, I don't know that we have another Broncos and Patriots. Did anyone expect them to do anything close to what they've done this year?
Forgetting one team.
If you're about to say the Kansas City Chiefs.
No, the Chiefs are expected to be back there. This is not, they're not even.
Who's the one team, Sammy?
The Giants. The New York Giants have
You think the Giants can make a Super Bowl next year?
I'm not saying they're going to make a Super Bowl, but I certainly think they're going to be in the playoffs and can win a couple games.
Okay.
I mean, they have all the ingredients of a team that's going to be playing a bad schedule, okay? Finishing third place in the NFC East. Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, Cam Scatterbo, all returning from injury. Andrew Thomas, left tackle, coming back from injury. One of the best young pass rushers in the entire NFL with Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Lawrence, all these guys. And you have a top 5 pick. I mean, you could get Caleb Downs from Ohio State, and all of a sudden you're talking about cleaning up that secondary. They lost a lot of games early on last year because Russell Wilson was the starting quarterback. And had all these guys not gotten hurt, who knows? They might have had 6-7 wins. A lot of these games came down to the last couple of minutes. I think John Harbaugh getting to New York, it stabilizes that organization because I don't think Dable really knew what he was doing. But Harbaugh's going to get them right. And just look at the division around you. You got Washington, who I think will be back in the picture because Jaden Daniels is great, but there's still question marks about that defense, kind of an aging roster there. Then you have Philly. Like, what is Philly? They can't even get an offensive coordinator. They can't get an offensive coordinator to come because no one has a lot of faith in that offense, and it feels like, are you just running the same team back? I do like Dallas a lot next year. I think Dallas could be another team, actually both out of that division, that could be nice, but I don't think the Eagles are just a lock to win that division. I really don't see it from them.
He really said he thought camels and reindeers are the same thing.
Yeah,
By the way, wild reindeer, which are known as caribou in North America, are found in the circumpolar, Arctic, subarctic, and boreal regions across the northern hemisphere. They inhabit tundra and mountainous areas in Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Norway, Finland, Russia, and Mongolia. They also exist at SeaWorld San Diego. And they're not the same thing as camels, which live in the Saharan desert.
How about that? Little science lesson.
You're welcome, San Diego. Sorry for Sammy Long.
Persham Sharania. The Miami Heat, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the New York Knicks, and the Golden State Warriors are all linked to Giannis ahead of the trade deadline. The Milwaukee Bucks are listening to offers. What team would you like to see him go to? Out of those 4, what team is the best fit?
Honestly, I was kind of laughing about it earlier, but I do think it'd be kind of fun to see him on the Warriors. Like, they're starting to get a little more steam today, and now the question is, would Giannis want to go to the Warriors and to the Bay Area? But think about the position the Warriors are in right now. We just talked about how the Seahawks were able to successfully slow play and soft launch a rebuild quickly without ever really going in the tank. Couldn't the Warriors do that exact same thing? Like, if you are able to move on from Steph Curry here in the next few years, you're able to move on to Jimmy Butler maybe this offseason. Can't you just start building anew around Giannis for the next 5 or 6 years? Like, it seems like something that could actually work. Giannis is 31 years old, still feels like he's in his athletic prime to me. Maybe injuries are a problem. But the Warriors thing actually seems like it could work, in my opinion. I don't know the logistics of how much it's going to take to get Giannis necessarily. Maybe the Warriors can't afford that. But the more I think about it, the more it seems like a no-brainer. Big market for Giannis, Bay Area, hugely popular fan base with the Golden State Warriors. Aging star that would be a lot of fun to see him and Giannis on the court at the same time for the next couple of years. And then Giannis takes over when Curry's done.
Well, so per anonymous exec, the Warriors actually have the most attractive package because Draymond's old, Curry's old, Butler's old. Now, Butler would be a part of the deal. Butler and Kuminga likely because you have to match salaries in the NBA when you make a trade, and you need someone with a max level salary to go for Giannis. But the picks like 4 or 5 years out for the Warriors are very valuable because the Warriors might not be a very good team. The Warriors may be picking toward the top of the draft in the NBA draft lottery very high, so they have a very attractive package. So the Warriors would be interesting. Like, I wonder where, thinking out loud, Curry and Giannis would put them this year. because you're assuming Kuminga goes back in the deal.
Man, if Curry's healthy and alive in the postseason, his teams will always have a chance.
Right, it's one of the best duos in basketball. The problem is Podziemski and these guys enough to supplement the rest of the roster? I don't know. I don't know if you actually, even though Curry and Giannis be unbelievable, I don't know if you get past Oklahoma City or Houston or some of these teams, but it certainly gives you a shot. If I'm Giannis, I want to stay in the Eastern Conference. Why do I want to deal with the Lakers, who are going to get freed up with the LeBron money, have a bunch of picks? Houston's not going anywhere. The Spurs aren't going anywhere. Oklahoma City and Denver. If I stay in the Eastern Conference, if you bring a championship to New York, you're going to be the most popular sports figure that New York's ever seen. And then if you go to Miami, you don't have to fight with a lot. Like you sit there and you're like, okay, so Boston's a good team. Detroit's a good team. And the Knicks, maybe you're going to the Knicks, maybe you're going to Miami. The Eastern Conference is not as deep as the Western Conference. So if I'm Giannis looking at my career, and there's no disrespect to LeBron, but how many LeBron got to all those championships because the Eastern Conference never had elite opposition outside the Celtics and the Pacers for a few years. If I'm Giannis, I don't know that I want to come to the crowded West and deal with that. I kind of want to stay in the East. So I look New York or Miami.
All right, Jamar, you are not helping out the situation whatsoever on YouTube. Jamar saying, have you ever seen a camel and a reindeer in the same place at the same time?
Seriously, would they attack each other?
They live on opposite sides of the globe, Jamar and Sammy. I cannot believe we're having this conversation.
Well, so SeaWorld flew to Mongolia and got these reindeer and
SeaWorld rescued these reindeer, Sammy, and they're our friends, and they were awesome to have.
No, I'm not taking shots. I love SeaWorld. I'm
saying the reindeer are our friends.
What are the logistics of getting reindeer to San Diego?
I don't know that, Sammy. I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. But I know that I had a lot of fun petting them, and I know I had a lot of fun seeing the look on Noreen's face when the reindeer immediately took a crap on the floor the second she walked into the KGB studios. I'll have a memory of that for the rest of my life.
I like the fact that there are people tuning into us right now who have no idea why we're talking about reindeer.
Well, why don't we reset this on the other side, huh? Chris Stapleton tickets coming soon. I bet you want that, don't you? You're going to have to wait for the next commercial break. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. And hey, we got 13 chances every single weekday for you to win $1,000 with the bonus bucks giveaway every hour from 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 1 o'clock. If it's your first time ever listening to this show, my name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. That stunning man with the golden locks is Sammy Long, looking like Mel Kiper Jr. more and more every single day. But we do the show every day from noon to 2. So stick around. We have a lot of fun. We talk some sports. We talk some sports gambling and anything else fun that pops our way. Like, I don't know, Sammy not thinking reindeers were real. Every once in a while will pop up as well. But right now, I do think we talked earlier about how this Seahawks team, even though I've been born and bred and I can't stand the Seattle Seahawks, is one of the more likable Super Bowl teams we've had in a long time. You think about Sam Darnold's story and where he was drafted and where he struggled with the New York Jets. And you think about where he went after that to the Carolina Panthers. And maybe, just maybe, Sam Darnold, who went to 2 bad organizations, got a bad rap because of the bad organizations he was a part of. So he goes and takes a leap year, sits out with the 49ers, learns under Kyle Shanahan, credits Brock Purdy, believe it or not, with a lot of things on his way to becoming the newest Super Bowl attending quarterback. So Sam Darnold, easy to root for. Jackson Smith and Jigba, easy to root for. That entire defense of young guys, easy to root for. And we're left with this. All of a sudden, the question becomes, is Sam Darnold the top quarterback in the NFC?
Well, if he wins a Super Bowl, if you look at the NFC, I mean,
we elevated Jalen Hurts to that when he won a Super Bowl.
Right. So
does that look like the smartest take now? Probably not, but we did elevate him.
Stafford will be 38. We're assuming he's coming back, but he just beat Stafford. He just beat Purdy. So it's hard for you to sit there and say either of those guys are above him. You might, maybe if someone was drafting a team and you had Caleb Williams available or Jaden Daniels, you might take those guys because of youth. But Darnold's only like 27, 28. And it's going to be tough about how we evaluate quarterbacks in the NFL because of his draft class. Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I think universally it'd be Josh Allen number 1, then Lamar Jackson, and then I think Darnold's probably past Baker at this point. But you could make a case for all those guys. But then if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl, not saying I'd take him over Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, I still wouldn't.
Neither of those guys have even been to a Super Bowl.
So it's kind of like, what do you value? If you talk about him in terms of tiers, and Darnold is still a young quarterback. So if he didn't have this narrative around him from the Jets and from Carolina that he was, quote, a bust, and it's hard for people to shed the label. It's hard for people to shed the bust label. People kind of first impressions reign supreme. Like, where does Sam Darnold put, like, if you took Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Lamar, let's just say those 4 were like the top 4. Just in terms of talent, what we see, would he go right after that? I mean, you would put.
My answer is no. And it's pretty easy why. Sam Darnold is on by far the most team-friendly deal and all of that. And that makes the Seattle Seahawks extremely smart when you talk to me. And it's a problem that the 49ers are currently dealing with Brock Purdy getting paid as much money as he's getting paid. Sam Darnold is making $100 million over 3 years with 55 of that guaranteed. Yeah, this deal probably gets ripped up after next season in going into year 3 of the contract, especially if he goes out and wins a Super Bowl right now and plays well next year. But as of right now, Sam Darnold is allowing the Seahawks to put this excellent roster around him. Like, it's not just Sam Darnold that got them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but don't you think Sam Darnold's earned the big time contract label?
Absolutely. Of course he has. And that's the problem with NFL and contracts. Like, Patrick Mahomes' contract is a big reason why the Chiefs struggled this year. We can be honest about that.
Well,
because
no,
they're old and they're paying a lot of guys who won them Super Bowls a lot of money.
It's not Mahomes. It's the other guys.
Right, but it's part of Mahomes' contract is part of the reason why they aren't able to go out and spend in the offseason and get young guys to replace
kind of, but they won multiple Super Bowls with him on the big contract. So there's quarterbacks who elevate that. But to your point of your Mahomes, your Allens, your Lamars, your guys that make massive money, like Joe Burrow's a prime example. Joe Burrow got his 2 receivers paid. The reason they haven't had a defense because Joe Burrow hasn't really given back any money. And if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm sitting there going, I'm a superstar player. Why am I giving back money? This is on the front office to build something. And that's why you got to credit John Schneider in Seattle for doing the on the fly rebuild. I mean, this team when Geno Smith got there was supposed to be headed for a decade of suck. And then they go from Geno Smith to perennial playoff contention to now they're 1 win away from winning a Super Bowl.
But that's why context matters in this conversation. That's why it's tricky to just automatically put whoever the quarterback is who's standing at the end as the best quarterback in the NFL, because it's not always true. The Seahawks might have the best roster in the NFL, and Sam Darnold's played very, very well. The last 2 seasons, he's been fantastic Against the Niners, he didn't have to do anything. Against the Rams, he outdueled Matt Stafford.
But that's my thing, though.
That's where I'm giving Darnold a ton of credit. Where I'm not going to say he's all of a sudden the best quarterback in the NFL is, have we seen Sam Darnold take the Seahawks to heights completely unexpected from what we thought Sam Darnold could do?
Well, I think a lot of people thought Sam Darnold couldn't do any of this, and this is why
but we saw him do it last year. We saw him get 14 wins last year with the
Minnesota Vikings. But he choked in the biggest moments. The two biggest games of the season against the Lions and Rams, he didn't play well. This playoff stretch is different. Every big game this year, whether it's Seattle earlier in the season, Niners to close out the season. I guess he didn't play great in the Niner game, but he played great in the Seahawks game.
And I'm not discounting a single thing he's done, but am I putting him in the conversation of a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? The answer is absolutely not.
It's hard because, right, let's say you took the top 4 of like I said, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar.
That's where the conversation starts and ends for me.
So
it's those 4 guys and everybody else.
At 5, in terms of talent, I would take Justin Herbert. But then it's also kind of hard to be like Justin Herbert's a better quarterback when if Sam Darnold goes and wins the Super Bowl and Herbert, not all his fault, is 0-3. It feels kind of like what. So we're just predetermining where guys are on a list because of how they look on the football field, not winning in the postseason.
This is where I kind of hate that Nick Wright does the Mahomes Mountain thing, because it gets all of us into a mindset of thinking about the tiers of quarterback. I don't think there are tiers. I think there are really, really great quarterbacks, and those are the 4 we talk about all the time: Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. And then there's everybody else.
So you think Brock Purdy and Justin Herbert are the same?
I think there's everybody else after those 4, because what has Justin Herbert actually done in the postseason?
Well, that's fair.
No.
If you want to go with Purdy because of that, but in terms of talent, this is why tiers matter.
Right, but they don't matter because who's winning the Super Bowl right now is a guy that we all would collectively agree is probably a tier below Justin Herbert. But he's there because he has a great roster around him, because he's played well in big moments.
But it just depends. It goes back to the conversation of what matters. Do playoff wins matter for a quarterback? That's why if you're high on Brock Purdy, you look at him in the postseason. But if you looked at Brock Purdy as a pure just player, he would not be in a lot of people's top 10 in terms of talent. It's like, what do you evaluate more? Do you evaluate Justin Herbert has some of the most raw talent in the NFL, and it has not translated to postseason success. Darnold, I think, has a good blend of both of those.
This is a conversation that I promise you the week after next, after the Super Bowl is dead and gone with, will be had across the country. And you're going to hear a lot of really bad takes on it. But here, we tell you the truth. San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. On the other side, Chris Stapleton tickets will be given out. So get ready to dial 877-767-4760. We will ask for your calls coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Aztecs, big win last night against Colorado State, 73-50. They're going to be back in action on Saturday morning in Utah, taking on Utah State. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 10 a.m. with Schaefer on the call. Fletch will get you going at 9 on pregame. And Giannis Prasham-Sharani has been linked to 4 teams: the Miami Heat, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the New York Knicks, and the Golden State Warriors. Nothing brings friends and family together on game day like delicious King's Hawaiian Sliders. Bring them to the big game table and be the real MVP. Pick some up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your local store. Football, King's Irresistible Hawaiian Sliders. There's nothing like it.
Tonight, 6 o'clock, it's the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show. Join John Schaefer and the Aztecs head coach, Brian Dutcher, and they're going to talk about last night's win and preview Saturday's huge matchup at Utah State. The Brian Dutcher Coaches Show tonight at 6 right here on your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. And I know John likes to take a bunch of questions off the text line, so it's your chance to ask Coach Dutcher a question straight up. All right, how about this? 142 for all of our app listeners is the time to call for those Chris Stapleton tickets. We know there's a little bit of a delay on the free iHeartRadio app, but we want you to use it. So if you are on the app, 142 is the time to call. We're going to take what caller number, Sammy?
We're gonna do caller number 16.
Caller number 16. It's a big price. You got to get through a lot of phone lines here. So caller number 16 at 142, you're going to win those Chris Stapleton tickets. That is the last time I'm going to say that between now and then. All right, San Diego Sports 760 here. I mentioned the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show is coming up later tonight. Well, San Diego State put on a hell of a performance last night. Impressive to see the guys who, without Magoon Guath, without Elsie Harrington, were able to go out and just dominate Colorado State from start to finish. I remember talking at halftime, like San Diego State was turning over Colorado State a bunch, but in the first half, that wasn't really translating into points. Second half, that turned around in a huge way. I think San Diego State ended up with over 20 points and points off of turnovers. It was a huge night for San Diego State, who get a nice little bump in all the metrics because they won by 23 points. And honestly, when you talk about the most underrated part of last night's win, it's the fact that in the final 2 minutes, the subs came in for Brian Dutcher, and Cam Lewine made a massive three-pointer because margin matters. Margin of victory matters when you're playing these games. And a home win over Colorado State by 10 or 11 points is probably going to keep you the same in the standings. A home win by 18 or 19 points probably gives you a little bit of a boost. A home win by 23 points means a lot. Getting over that 20-point threshold is big, and Cam Lewine making a three-pointer in the final 30 seconds or so of that game ends up being huge today.
It's tricky because that is like a real thing, and it's a tough balance because if you don't want to also, anytime you have an opportunity to rest some starters, rest some guys to get heavy minutes, and reduce their workload, that's always something that you want to do. You also want to develop guys deep down the bench because you never know when injury strikes. Hell, look at Magoon Guath. Now a lot of guys in the front court are getting time, boosted minutes that might not have before. But yeah, it was cool seeing the bench come in. They obviously the crowd goes crazy, kept it up in a 23-point win. Again, we were talking about earlier. Potential trap game that had disaster written all over it. You're looking ahead to Utah State, coming off a big win against UNLV. Feel like you got robbed against Grand Canyon last week. Otherwise, you would have been undefeated in Mountain West Conference play. So big props to the Aztecs getting it done at home, and then it really just sets up a great showdown on Saturday that we all can't wait for.
Now, the other thing that's going on with this Aztecs team is they're starting to play much better defense. They're up to, I believe, 20th in the country in defensive efficiency, and that's been a big positive for the Aztecs here over the last couple of weeks. Let's hear from Pharaoh Compton, who was asked after the game of what's happening with this Aztecs basketball team that's kind of forcing the issue on opponents and making it to where it feels like a more cohesive unit as they rip through this Mountain West schedule. Let's hear from Pharaoh talking with the media last night.
Where's been the biggest blow of the season defensively?
Like I said, just taking pride in guarding and just knowing that shoot, I mean, the person in front of you is going to try their hardest to score on you. So if you just try your hardest to not let them do that, then it's not going to happen. And I feel like we've been buying into the coaching more, buying into what the coaches are telling us for the game plan, and sticking with that throughout the whole game.
It's important, the buy-in factor, and it feels like that's been huge for the Aztecs here lately. It does seem like they're working a little more together as a unit on the defensive side of the basketball, and that's changed everything. Because at the beginning of the year, the offense was actually pretty great, and the offense was ahead of the defense for the first time in 9 or 6 years, or 9 to 10 years here on the Mesa. As Brian Dutcher's been the head coach, it always feels like the defense was there, and the offense comes along. But the defense was behind track so far this season, and they've caught up in a big way. Their best defensive performance of the season last night.
Well, that's the reason why they've been so dominant in Mountain West Conference play. Because early it's like everyone had high expectations for this team because you felt like last year they probably overachieved a little bit. They probably didn't have the amount of scorers that you needed to legitimately compete. Miles Bird and Nick Boyd were really the only two that you could consistently rely on. BJ Davis has taken a complete next step. But then at the beginning of the year, you got your LZ Harringtons, your Tay Simmons who are new to the program. Lots of guys who transferred in. Was Latrell Davis going to redshirt? Like there was a lot of things going back and forth about it was tough to figure out lineups, especially with 11 guys playing, and to do that against top tier competition, the Players Era tournament, and then the Troy Stunner at home, which they just shot at an unbelievable clip. If the Aztecs played Troy again today, I don't think it would come out the same way. But to what you just said, you knew the Aztecs were going to get it wired in defensively. If defense is their problem, that's a good thing because we know offense over the years has been the one thing that you would point to as a little bit of a struggle. Not that they've been bad offensively, but at times when they have been a little bit down, it's been more due to the offense. It's nice. It feels like they're really kind of wiring it in and they're taking it to all these Mountain West teams.
And man, when you get a night like Reese is shooting like he was yesterday in the first half, it's tough to beat this Aztecs basketball team. So you got back-to-back performances now, one from Miles Bird, one from Reese Dixon Waters, where they sort of carry the offense. And then the defense has been spectacular. That's how you get on a little bit of a roll. They got to keep it going this Saturday. Massive game at Utah State. We'll be on the air starting at 9:00 Saturday morning. By the way, Saturday morning college basketball is literally what made me fall in love with sports. Some of my favorite memories are waking up early on Saturdays and watching games on the couch with the family. So cannot wait for primetime window, 10 a.m. on Saturday. All right, the phone lines are starting to explode, and that is because we are giving away Chris Stapleton tickets. He is at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater coming up in a few months. July 10th is the show at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Caller number 16, you said, Sammy?
Number 16.
Number 16, you're going to the show. 877-767-4760 is the phone number to call for Chris Stapleton tickets on July 10th. Talk to Sammy, have some fun with that. When we come back on the other side, a massive announcement we made on the show today, plus something really cool that happened to one of our listeners. That's next on San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Congratulations to Tommy for winning those Chris Stapleton tickets. Tommy, thank you for listening to the show, man. Have fun at the concert. I'm hoping to be there right with you. Fridge Watcher on YouTube saying I was caller number 5.
Fridge Watcher,
You'll be back tomorrow. I know you will, Fridge Watcher. We'll have more tickets for you coming up tomorrow. Also, quick stop down here. Michelle in Oceanside.
Michelle.
$1,000 winner. $1,000 winner here on San Diego Sports 760. Congratulations to Michelle. Look, if you want to win $1,000, you just got to put in the work like Michelle did. Every time you hear one of those keywords, they happen every hour from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can go over to sportssd.com, enter that keyword there, and you have a chance to win $1,000 just like Michelle did up in Oceanside. $1,000. Take that to the casino tonight, Michelle. Put it on black. Win yourself another 1,000. Go over to the blackjack table, play a shoe, aggressive betting, turn it into 5,000, and then we're talking. Then what do you do after that, Sammy?
Cash out.
Maybe cash out. Yeah, that's probably good. Once you get up to 5K, that feels like it's a responsible decision.
Also,
I'd go to the craps table. That's just me.
With $1,000, guess what you don't have to do? You don't have to base bet. Base betting, you'll get cleaned out. That's a dirty little secret at the casino. They want you to be scared betting, so then all of a sudden you keep base betting. Chances are in the casino's favor. Double down and split those 7s and 11s.
Every time you get a blackjack, you make sure the next time you bet, you're taking everything you won from that blackjack and you're stacking it. You call it a stacky. That's what I call it. Dealers love it when you call it a stacky, by the way. And then you just hammer them for all it's worth. Victory will be ours. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We're about to get out of here, but what we do need to tell you is that next Friday is a very special day. Next Friday is the Friday before the Super Bowl, the big game. So you're going to want to head your little booties down to K&B Bistro, where there will be free pizza, where there will be plenty of drinks available for purchase, where there will be giveaways to be given away, including a signed Aztec basketball, including concert tickets, including sporting event tickets. So you want to come on down to see this very show right here. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long. We will be live at K&B Bistro in Del Cerro, offering pizza up if you want to swing on by, as well as some other giveaways for those in attendance. So get on down to K&B Bistro next Friday, noon to 2. We're also doing the big game tailgate there from 6 to 10 a.m. There is going to be chaos. There will probably be live animals, not including Travis Taylor. So get on out here to K&B Bistro next Friday. You excited for that, Sammy?
I'm very excited. I can't wait to be. We're live on remote. What was the last time we were live on remote? I can't. Oh, Vegas. We're at Circa.
Vegas, baby.
But we're still trying to reach our Vegas audience, so we have a big fan base out there.
Correct, Mundo. So here's the deal: double down on all blackjacks and split all 7s, split all 11s. Just go nuts when you're at the casino. That's basically what we should learn from today's show. I think that's good.
We're gonna have a good time. I'm excited. My first big game tailgate.
It's going to be fun, man. K&B Bistro is an awesome spot. I call it the Hogwarts of liquor. Every single wall you see in that place is lined with bottles and bottles of booze. And then the food on their menu is phenomenal as well. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Well, more Chris Stapleton tickets for you tomorrow. John Schaefer is going to be coming up in just a little bit, but we would be remiss if we did not end this show without talking about the fact that Sammy thought reindeers and camels were the exact same thing.
Well, yeah, this got started because SeaWorld brought reindeer in studio not too long ago.
Like 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And I don't know if this is PR public, but the reindeer had to go to the bathroom right in front of the Kogo Studios.
Sure did.
Cliff Albert was not too thrilled.
Not just the Kogo Studios, but every other studio as well.
Yeah, so the smell is still around in the iHeart Studios. And then Ben, I forgot. There might be a camel. There might be some
Allegedly,
live.
probably not. Maybe definitely a camel, which will be a K&B Bistro.
See, I'm worried about the logistics. First off, you can't bring live animals into a place where there's food. You can get K&B Bistro shut down.
No, there's a patio outside, Sammy.
So the camel is going to be greeting people if there's a camel there.
Allegedly, probably, maybe, definitely not being a camel at K&B
I feel
Bistro
bad for that camel.
Like,
I really hope that camel's being taken care of because I know Travis is not going to do it. Rich is rich. Rich is not taking care of a camel.
Holy smokes. Did you know that camels can get up to 1,500 pounds? We got to come up with a name for this camel.
I don't know what you guys got yourself into.
We got to come up with a name for this camel. It's going to be legendary. Now, Sammy, what was the keyword for the first 5 listeners who come up to us at the Big Game Tailgate and our subsequent broadcast to get me to buy them 5 beers?
Josh Allen PR team.
Josh Allen PR team. Speaking of which, I don't know if everyone saw it, but Josh Allen was in attendance for the Joe Brady introductory press conference, the new head coach of the Buffalo Bills. And Josh Allen was on crutches. Look, man, maybe it's just me, but I'm giving this dude every excuse in the book. This was why he was not able to get to a Super Bowl this year. That James Cook catch was a catch, not an interception. And Josh Allen was playing through a broken foot. So
listen, we can all appreciate Josh Allen's greatness because he is great. He's unbelievable. And do I put everything on Josh Allen? No, because I firmly believe the biggest problem with the Buffalo Bills recently is the fact that Brandon Beane is not putting a capable roster around Josh Allen. I don't think Josh Allen deserves all the blame, but we also can celebrate the greatness of Josh Allen and also be true about the fact that he had 4 turnovers in the game. So if you want to sit there and make excuses for him, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and do that. I want to hold our quarterbacks accountable, just like every other quarterback. Like Justin Herbert gets crushed for being 0-3 in the postseason. Lamar Jackson gets eviscerated for his postseason record. I think it's being disingenuous.
Well, as a card-carrying member of the Josh Allen PR team, I'm going to excuse all of it and say he was hurt, man. And that's a bummer. And I wish we could have seen a healthy Josh Allen because I think the Super Bowl matchup would be a little more entertaining because right now I have the Seahawks winning by 20 against the New England Patriots. Before we're done for the day, I do want to mention one more time, LeBron James, you heard the Lakers game last night. I guess you didn't because we heard the Aztecs game. Lakers got trounced by the Cleveland Cavaliers yesterday in Cleveland. LeBron James pregame was honored by the Cleveland Cavaliers. I actually thought they did a pretty nice job with it. LeBron shed a couple of fake tears there on the sideline before the game, before going out there and getting absolutely trounced by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sammy, Lakers fan long, how would you feel, or how do you feel, I guess, about your Los Angeles Lakers, knowing that while everyone's celebrating LeBron James and talking about the emotions that he showed on the court, getting absolutely ass kicked by the Cleveland Cavs?
I think it's just the Lakers play defense in spurts. They play
Luka
defense.
Get hurt last night too?
He twisted his ankle in the first quarter. The court is elevated in Cleveland. He actually came back in the game, but so he stepped off the court and twisted his ankle. The Lakers play defense in spurts. It's frustrating. They don't put it together for a full 48 minutes. You saw it in the first half. They were playing well. I thought they actually were outplaying Cleveland, and then Cleveland comes out and is hitting a bunch of threes at the start of the second half. LeBron did not have a good game with 11 points, and the shooters around Luka and LeBron were not coming through. Obviously, Austin Reeves will be back, but still an inexcusable loss. I mean, Darius Garland and Evan Mobley weren't even there. Cavs a dangerous team in the Eastern Conference, but the Lakers, if they want to make a run this year, the Lakers need some serious help. They need perimeter defense, and DeAndre Ayton has been an abomination in the last couple of weeks. He has to be rim running center, and he has not been. That's likely going to be the Lakers' downfall heading into the postseason.
All right, really quickly, the 2 games you picked tonight for long shots, Sammy?
I got Minnesota at home plus 6.5. All the elite defenders for Oklahoma City are out. And then I got Brooklyn, Michael Porter Jr. return to Denver plus 7.5. Take the Nets. I think they keep that game close and maybe outright win it.
All right. John Schaefer's coming up next. That's your money-making proposition, your 401k for the night. I'm invested. Are you? John Schaefer's next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.